YouTube, what's going on? You know the deal. Another Summoning Salt video, another reaction. These videos are always amazing, so shout out as always to Summoning Salt. This time it's the history of Spyro world records, and I'm curious to see this one because I did play the Spyro trilogy, like the remaster trilogy. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, this should be dope. Let's check it out.
Spyro is a game that millions around the world grew up playing. The game simply radiates nostalgia with its mystical
the audio
worlds
looks
and
like it should be
creative
okay.
levels.
Let me know.
But today, I want to take you back to just 3 months after its original release. In December 1998,
Spyro better than Crash?
Next
Yeah, Crash is
Generation
annoying as fuck.
magazine interviewed the president of Universal Interactive, a man named Mark Cerny.
Spyro runs always fun during
develop
GDQ.
Spyro. And he was asked several typical
I've never
questions
watched
about
any
designing
Spyro
the game.
speedruns, but it seems like a
But there
game
was
that would
something
be dope
very
to
interesting
run.
that he revealed in this interview.
Is the audio okay for you guys?
Mark Cerny, the president of the company that made Spyro, completed the first ever speedrun of the game.
Oh shit.
Mark said the following: "I've reached and beaten Gnasty Gnorc in 105 minutes. If anyone can beat that, please email me your time." Well, Mark, I hope that you're able to see this video, because even though it took more than 10 years to get going, your game eventually spawned a massive speedrunning scene.
It
And
took 10
although you
years?
set the first world record, future players broke the game apart like nobody could have imagined. This is the history of how they did it.
Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good, I think. Yeah, see, that's why, because like you fly and stuff, so I was like, this is definitely gonna be crazy. But I'm assuming there's gonna be invisible walls all over the place because of the flying. So there's probably gonna be a lot of fuckery, right?
And now a word from this video's sponsor, Rocket Money. Now, true story, a few months ago, my internet provider jacked up the price without me realizing. The bill was on autopay, and I didn't see what happened until months later. Luckily, I downloaded today's sponsor to help, Rocket Money. Rocket Money is an all-in-one personal finance app that can manage your subscriptions, negotiate your bills, and make managing your money a whole lot easier.
Get your bread,
What I
homie. That's
love
what I'm
is that
saying.
they tell you when something funny is going on. After downloading the app, they alerted me that my internet
I've heard
bill
good
was
things
high.
about this.
They offered to negotiate it for me and work to get me a better rate. Look, no one likes to admit it, but it's easy to lose track of your subscriptions. There's streaming services, utilities, food services, it adds up. Well, Rocket Money helped me with that too. They
Also, obviously I'm gonna play the ad.
subscriptions into a single list so I can easily stay on track of all
Because
of
get
them.
your money, bro.
They can help you cancel streaming services you've forgotten about, internet providers, home meal services, and more.
That makes
Managing your
sense, Sam.
personal finances
Yeah,
can
even
be
if you
overwhelming,
don't
but
change
Rocket Money
anything.
has made it so much easier for me to stay on top of my spending and has
Corn
even saved me
grub?
time in negotiating bills.
Naked
Go
yoga
to
retreat. Wait, wait.
top of my spending
Naked yoga retreat. Chungus
and has
checks.
even saved me time in negotiating bills.
Corn
Go to
grub.
rocketmoney.com/summoning salt to get started for
Ethical
free.
reacts.
You can also scan
Yeah,
the QR
I'm
code
always
or
like,
click the link
I
in my
always
description.
just let the ads
Unlock
run
even more features when you sign up for
on and off
premium.
stream.
That's rocketmoney.com/summoning
Get your bread, bruh. Especially if I'm
Alright,
reacting
so after
to
the
a video,
GOAT
you know?
Mark Cerny,
He's the one doing the
there
hard
wasn't
work.
much Spyro
I'm just going
speedrun
like, that's
activity over
cool.
the next decade. This isn't too surprising since speedrunning as a whole was an obscure hobby at the time. However, this changed in 2010 with the emergence of Speed Demos Archive. SDA was a website that accepted and verified high-quality speedruns, where community members could gather to discuss their runs.
God. See, the
Spyro
OBS
was a
forum looks like
popular
this.
topic in the early days of SDA.
Makes
There were
me
lots of
remember the
posts
old
talking about
days.
theoretical speedruns, how you'd have to route everything out. Sometimes, forum goers would casually mention how fast they beat the game, after routing a bit and doing an attempt to go fast. A couple claims from Epic Fail 7 beat Mark Cerny's time. Then, there was a speedrunning
Epic
tournament
Fail.
where the finals involved racing to complete Spyro 1.
I like the idea of
Two
the
runners
world
faced
record
off,
being by
but the
Epic
only
Fail.
one to finish was a speedrunner named Luke RF44. It's unclear if his
I know
time
we
of
just started,
1
but I'm
hour,
gonna stand.
17 minutes and 7 seconds was officially a world record. Finally, in June 2010, a group of SDA members were trying to figure out the fastest route through the game. One runner, named Laponier36, did a test run to see what sort of time he could get. His 11309 was good, but had
Dude, I feel like I can't even beat like a world in Spyro in an hour.
It was really just practice to see if his run was viable.
Then again, I played each game one time, so.
In the comments section of his run,
well, I got all the achievements, so maybe one of that, but you know what I mean.
Tote, who had these amazing words for Le Ponier. To be perfectly honest with you, I think I can easily beat your time with no practice whatsoever.
Damn.
You really need to get your act together.
Damn, okay.
Oh well, you've inspired me to beat you now, so expect an upload.
Damn, talk your shit.
This is one of the best YouTube comments I've ever read. And perhaps the best part about it, Katote actually backed up his claim. Later that year, Katote submitted his speedrun.
You guys ever see that video of it was like piano or a music game or something?
12 minutes.
And a comment was like, "This is trash. I could destroy you" or something.
Which he wrote about in great
and then they
detail
put up a video, and it was like the most incredible thing you've ever seen.
So, a quick overview for those who are new to Spyro. Throughout the entire game, you're trying to collect gems, rescue dragons, and recover dragon eggs. These are scattered throughout each of the game's 5 worlds. Each world contains a home world, 3 main levels, a flight level.
Oh man, I remember some of those were a pain in the ass.
You can choose which to play and which to skip, but to move to the next world, you must reach a certain amount of dragons, gems, or eggs.
Okay.
So, Katote had to figure out which levels he wanted to enter, which he wanted to
exactly,
skip,
Gypsy.
and the optimal route.
Person was such a dickhead, but they were really talented, so it's like...
Game. By the end,
it's always a shame when a dickhead could back it up, right?
Gems, 50 dragons, and 5 eggs, with different checkpoints earlier to keep progressing through the game. The most important part is the gems.
God, this looks so crusty now, but it still looks good. It's
literally thousands.
I think it's because it's so charming.
Levels and the homeworlds. To give you an idea of Katote's strategy, let's look at how he handled the first world, Artisans. He rescued 3 dragons in the homeworld, then completed the flight level, which gives 300 gems. He then entered his first main level, Town Square,
and then Poopy had 69
dragons,
did this.
An egg, and just over 100 gems.
The record didn't move for 10 years.
Then entered the level Stone
and then
Hill,
fuckface
where he quickly got
Dickmonger
3 more dragons to reach 10.
Came out with this strategy and blew it apart.
But instead of exiting the level, he stayed a while longer, collecting more gems and rescuing an 11th dragon. This is because it's often faster to collect
similar to
all
Lightspeed
dragons
Sister,
in a level rather
she's
than
crusty and harming.
You need 50 dragons eventually anyway, so might as well collect more in one place. He even collected one more dragon in the whole world before finally moving to the Peacekeeper's world, with 12 dragons, 1 egg, and 460 gems. Katote spent much more time in Peacekeepers than Artisans, as there's more gems and dragons to collect. He played all levels and eventually left Peacekeepers with 27 dragons, 2 eggs, and 1,735
Which
gems.
one, Hicks?
Still a ways.
Oh yeah, the one with like Mateo or whatever.
Magic crafters.
And there's like a team of 12 people trying to take one dude down who's like always at like 23 out of 24 records or whatever.
Necessarily hit a few times, died once, and was sloppy collecting gems.
Sad, dude. This guy sucks.
Did collect a lot of gems in this level and the rest of the world. He reached the 5 eggs he needed, and left the world with 41 dragons and 3,544 gems. The next world was Beastmakers. It contains the infamous level Treetops, which many players struggled with as a kid. At one point, Katote had to do a series of supercharges and then a glide to just barely make it over to an island, which contained both a dragon and about 100 gems.
Place.
He couldn't afford to skip it, and he died once trying, but he did reach it on the second try. Later in the level, he rescued another dragon and got 300 more gems. By the time Katote finished Beastmakers, he'd gotten his 50th
Beastmakers is such a cool name.
Now it was time for Dreamweavers, where he could focus solely on collecting gems. Katote entered Haunted Towers, Icy Flight, and the boss level for gems.
Beastmakers is what I call it every time I
He reached 6,000. After 57.5 minutes, Katote had collected everything needed to finish the game. It was time to head to Gnasty's world. This world contains 2 main levels, Gnorc Cove and Twilight Harbor, and then the final fight with Gnasty Gnorc. Katote just had to avoid any big mistakes. Both main levels contain a myriad of
they did the remaster and then no new Spyro.
Never dying and taking just a
Crash,
few
they did the trilogy and then they put in Crash 4, which was good.
Katote chased down the thieves for the 2 keys, chased Gnasty Gnorc himself, and platform to the end.
That Gnorc is
Game
nasty.
complete.
You know what I think of it?
1 hour, 1 minute, and 46 seconds.
Damn, with a whole
In the
bunch of
run
deaths and fuck ups and
Kotote
stuff?
pointed out that he could have picked up more gems in the early worlds where the game is the easiest. Instead, he had balanced it more through the game, collecting the most in the middle worlds. His run went on SDA and was recognized as the world record. Many site members congratulated him, as this was by far the best speedrun the game had ever seen. But as good as it was, it didn't last very long.
Yeah, a lot of deaths and shit, so
speedrunners were
this is going
interested in
to
Spyro,
instantly go under
and
1
Kotote's
hour.
run
I
just
wonder
gave
how
them
low
more
it's going to
motivation
go.
to try. One such runner was Crash 4. 1596. We'll just call him Crash. At the very end of 2010,
I was like, what the fuck? We were just talking about Crash and
beat
Crash 4.
Kotote's run by 5 minutes.
Oh my god,
Partially
56.
because of the version of the game he played. Crash played on NTSC, while Kotote
60
played
frames
on
instead of
PAL.
40 or 30
PAL
or
has
whatever?
a slower frame rate and load times. And although the developers tried to compensate by making Spyro run faster, it's still 1 to 2 minutes slower than NTSC, so Crash had a built-in advantage.
Why does this
But
music
that
sound
wasn't
all
that
warped?
Crash did to save
Because of the
time.
slowness?
It was
He's
all about
trying to match
the
it?
routing. Crash
Oh no, it's just
front-loaded
weird.
his gems, collecting more in the first 2 worlds, which let him skip things in the rest of the game. He was able to spend far less time in the levels High Caves, Wizard Peak, Treetops, and Metalhead. He didn't even bother entering Haunted Towers and Dreamweavers.
Dude, it's so blurry that I feel like if you're running this game for like 8 hours straight, you must just like want to puke.
And Crash wasn't done. A month later, he beat his record in a tournament race with a 55-35. And a few months later, he did it again with a 54-44, specifically playing on PAL so that Kotote could compete with him. This time, he front-loaded his gems even more, collecting an extra 300 in Beastmaker so he could skip the level Jacques in Dreamweavers. Clearly, a trend was being set. Collect more gems early so you can skip levels later.
I mean, it makes sense.
Over the
The
next
beginning
few
of the game's
months,
easier.
Crash made posts on task videos
theory.
and SDA that
Toxic?
offhandedly mentioned new
Imagine being
times he'd set
toxic.
on
I would
Spyro
never do that in
1,
Pokemon Champions.
54-23, and then a time in the 51-minute range. It's possible there were more records in between, but it seems like Crash didn't bother recording these runs because he felt he could do better. He was pulling away with the Spyro 1 record. Then, in late 2011, another top-level runner emerged, a player named Surreal.
Every time.
He'd been a speedrunner for a while, and since Spyro was a childhood game for him, he decided
learning to run this
try.
game when it comes in the mail.
And perhaps more than any
Soon,
runner
soon.
before him, Surreal did an enormous amount of research into his route.
Oh.
Rather than building on past runs, he essentially started from scratch and tried to create the best route possible.
Jesus
He
Christ.
developed a concept called the gem-to-time ratio. It's a way to figure out which gems are the most
Gypsy, I might go back
time-efficient
and clip
to
it.
collect. For instance,
But it's
if
gonna
I
be
could
hard to
collect 10
sift
gems
through
over
and
there,
find,
but
but
it
yeah.
takes 4 seconds, the gem-to-time
For the
ratio
son missed it,
would
I
be
BN'd
2 to 5.
unintentionally. I froze
Surreal
somebody,
tracked this
and then I killed them with a
entire
fire
run
move,
and
which
mapped
like
out what
thawed
he
them
felt was
out, but
the
they died.
optimal route for collecting gems.
And that's how I won.
Surreal regularly raced on speedruns live and set several
When you
world
think of the
records in
fact that it was
process.
probably against an
But he
8-year-old,
also
it's really funny.
streamed to Justin.tv.
And
on
I didn't
March
even do it
21st,
on purpose.
2012, he set a new record on stream with video that has survived to this day. This was a huge improvement over the last run with video footage.
Our streams in 2012 are so
48-58.
crusty.
How did Surreal save nearly 6 minutes? Well, 2 minutes came from NTSC versus PAL. The remaining 4 were because Surreal was built differently. He demonstrated cleaner movement
Surreal
throughout the whole
was built
game,
correct.
which allowed him to pick up time in level after level.
Yeah, it's
He
true,
shifted
Chris.
his
I know.
gems around so
As
that
soon as
by
I
the
said that,
time
I
he
was like,
made
no,
it
this
to
person probably is like
Dreamweavers,
kids.
He barely had any to collect.
The
He
person
just
isn't
picked up a
8, the
couple
person is an
hundred in
8-year-old
Jacques,
child.
Then was off to Gnasty's world. In Gnorc Cove, he went for a trick called a wall glide to skip a chunk of the level. While gliding,
This is what I was waiting
you
for.
can angle Spyro into
Now we're
the
gonna get into
inclined
some crazy
surface,
shit. Watch
and it'll
this.
maintain his height or give him more height. Then, by landing in the water repeatedly, you can just barely make it to the ledge.
Bruh.
It was first used in a task by Leponier, and Surreal implemented it in his run. So, a new gem route.
Now
new
is where the
tricks,
video starts.
Better gameplay, and a 48-58.
Jesus.
Miles ahead of
Under 50
anybody
minutes
else
already?
playing
And,
Spyro.
bro.
And the best part? Surreal was just getting started.
Of course. Okay, so we're under 50 minutes and we have an hour left of the hour and 14-minute video.
Yes, dude. It's not sub 48, but that's pretty good.
Absolutely, DD8. Absolutely. Especially when you're like, watch, an hour into this video, that's gonna happen.
Surreal was Spyro's first great speedrunner. Throughout 2012, he lowered the any percent record over and over, streaming all of it live to his fans on Twitch. Most of his videos survived, and it's fascinating to see his gameplay evolve. Starting with his 4546, Surreal radically changed his gem route yet again. It had long been known that the flight level in Dreamweavers was faster than the one in Artisans by about 15 seconds. However, guards are blocking the Dreamweaver's flight level, and you normally have to use the laser cannon to defeat them. But Surreal found that while rising from a jump, your momentum is preserved after getting hit, so you can get extra height and glide over the guards. This meant Surreal could switch around which flight level he played, and spend barely any time in Artisans at all. With a
I
new
love
route,
it when they have a
Surreal
stupid
kept the
fucking
records
name.
coming.
Exactly, like the
As
Jimmy
he did,
Poopins.
He became more and more nonchalant.
And the little
I don't understand how
somebody who
that's
ran
bad.
like the most
Finally,
random shit.
After more than a year of record improvements, Surreal
Jimmy
got the run he was
Poopins,
looking
well
for
known
on
for
November 1st,
speedrunning NASCAR
2012.
2015.
A record filled with all the new tricks from the past several months. In Town Square, he did a tricky jump where he angled Spyro out to the side, then back toward the ledge, and finally charged to reach solid ground. Runners call it a ledge grind.
It looks
and
so
allowed
easy,
him
and I
to reach
guarantee
the
that's
upper
like the
area
hardest thing in the
without
world.
having to go all the way around. Just before entering Crystal Flight in Magic Crafters,
Oh, good
Surreal
call,
performed a trick
Gypsy.
called
Thank you. Let's just change it to summoning more salt. I knew I was forgetting something. Usually, I would change it before I go and pee. Thanks, broski. Just for that, today, Gypsy, you're stream president.
Boldar Skip. Normally when you rescue a dragon, a cutscene plays before you're able to move again. One potential exception is the dragon Boldar. By manipulating the camera away from him, then entering Crystal Flight from the opposite side, you can contact Boldar just before truly entering the level and be credited with
I
rescuing him.
resign.
Contact
What the
Boldar,
fuck?
Then exception is the dragon Boldar. By manipulating the camera
It
away
is like
from
Boulder.
him, then entering Crystal Flight from the opposite side,
That's so scuffed.
you can contact Boldar just before truly entering the level and be credited with rescuing him. No cutscene necessary. In Treetops, Surreal repeatedly used the supercharge ramps to reach islands early, tricks that a casual player wouldn't even think of. All these tricks and more
You're right, I
led
never
to a
thought of
strong
that.
4408, capping off a streak
I don't think.
of
I don't know.
11
Somebody
straight
pull up my
records
VODs.
from Surreal. He submitted the run to SDA and received positive feedback from both the site verifiers and his peers. Small mistakes made a 43-minute run seem possible, but all agreed that this was an amazing world record. By early 2013, Spyro was one of the fastest growing speed games in the world. Speedrunning as a whole was quite small, but compared to other popular games, Spyro 1 was thriving. So much so that just a few months after its
I'm honestly surprised
4408,
that it wasn't
Surreal
huge from the
already had
get-go. Because
2
Spyro
new
was always
competitors.
beloved, right?
The first was a player named Saboom. Saboom regularly raced
Oh,
Surreal
the
in
lemur.
2012, and while Surreal set the records, Saboom improved just
Same,
behind
Nick.
him. Well, in January 2013, Saboom broke through and got the first 43 in Spyro history.
Yeah, Chris, that's
Although
true.
it was streamed live to his Twitch account, the footage has since disappeared and can't be viewed today.
Yeah, that's the
was
thing.
the
If they
first time
don't
in
like
over a
upload to
year
YouTube,
that
it just
Surreal wasn't
disappears,
the record
unfortunately.
holder. Unsatisfied with this development, he began attempts to take back the record, and it only took him a few days. He cleaned up some mistakes from his 4408 and beat Saboom by 2 seconds. With
I always
the
love the
casual,
videos like the
"Guess
Wii
I should
Sports
highlight this" in
where
the description.
They find
Surreal
out that
still
like you
had a
could
bit of an
disconnect the
advantage
game
over
at a certain
Saboom.
point and
But I mentioned
all this
he
crazy
had 2
shit.
competitors. One was Saboom, and the other was BJ. BJ is an interesting case.
Yeah, it makes sense,
While
Gypsy.
Saboom clearly raced alongside Surreal and improved, BJ was more on his own, yet he improved fast. In December 2012, his personal best was over an hour. By February, he had a low 44. I don't know how he did it,
What the
but
fuck?
in a matter of weeks, BJ went from a noob to a world record contender. But one lesson he had to learn: it's one thing to be a contender, and it's another thing to actually break a record.
Damn. Okay.
On March 7th, 2013,
Somebody saw with the
BJ
fucking
was
bar.
a bit behind the record going
BJ,
into
slow your roll.
Beastmakers, but an excellent world pushed him up to essentially tied.
Damn.
Coming down the home stretch, he had only Dreamweaver's and Gnasty's World remaining. He played Icy Flight, but needed a lot of gems in Jacques to reach 6,000.
Just give me all the gems. That's what I need right now.
VJ collected some gems, then glided across this gap. On the other side was a group of armored horrors.
Oh yeah, that's
All
what
you
I
have
could
to
see.
do is
It's not
jump
just a
up and
disgusting
charge them.
blur.
What? I'm
I-
sorry for blowing you guys' ears out, but what
As
just
whenever
happened?
somebody says all he had
balked,
to do was,
and the enemy
you know,
knocked him off.
you know he's gonna
Run
eat
over.
shit.
No matter, a month later, he had an even better chance. VJ kept it close with the record through Beastmakers, then
God,
pulled
even the
ahead
splits
in
are hideous.
Dreamweavers. He was on pace for a 43-4x with just 3 levels to go. Gnorc Cove and Twilight Harbor both went fine. Now it was time for Gnasty Gnorc. Here at the start, there are 2 thieves holding keys that you must catch, one after the other. It's very important to catch them as soon as you see them. If you miss, you have to chase them down. VJ just had to make sure they didn't slip by him.
Okay.
I choked. It's all over. GG.
Oh, bro,
This
it's gonna be
kept
so
happening. It was
annoying
starting
at the
to get in
very
his head.
end.
So many world record chances that
We're at the end of the game.
Some of them were ahead of the record by several seconds. It's easy to start convincing yourself that you can't do it when this happens. But BJ stuck with it, and finally on April 16th, he finished
So
off
you're saying that
a
BJ blew it? Oh man.
43-49.
Fuck.
I freaking did it. It's all over, dude. I did it. It's all over. Oh my god.
Still,
Nice,
BJ
dude.
felt this was far from his best run. It was slower than many of the record paces he'd had in the past couple months, largely thanks to a slow Magic Crafters. In fact, earlier in this run, after making the mistakes,
It's so
BJ admitted
ugly.
he wouldn't be happy with this run if it finished as the record.
Because if this ended up being world record, like, I'd be like ashamed, and I'd have to improve it anyways.
So, there was still work to do. Later in April, BJ and Surreal both played more any percent runs, trying for a faster time that would satisfy them. And it didn't take long to see results. Surreal struck first with a 43-43, then a week later, BJ countered with a big 43-27.
Ooh.
This time, the run description looked different. BJ said, "This is the run that I've wanted for so long." And it was. He saved time in every world.
Yeah, his goal was
except the
43:30, right?
Peacekeepers.
So, damn.
Sub 43:30 was now a reality. Early 2013 was a period of rapid growth for Spyro.
Chris, what's your time again? Like
Lots of new world
42:27?
records set by many new high-level runners. Surreal, Saboom, and BJ all emerged onto the scene quickly, and were all record contenders. But there's still one more runner I
43:26.
need
Oh,
to
okay,
introduce, who started just
Hell
a
yeah.
bit later than the other 3. His name is Tuval. Tuval had a similar origin to BJ.
I loved it. You
He
wrote
began
so
in
much, dude.
2013, lowered his time in the
43,
first few
aka
months,
Chris's scratch
and
card value.
gradually became a record contender. He'd go on to be an incredibly prolific speedrunner, most well known for discovering Gelato Beach Skip in Super Mario Sunshine. But back in 2013, he was just starting out, trying to beat the any percent world record in Spyro. After several months of lowering his personal best, on May 18th, 2013, Tuval tied the world record almost to the frame.
Alright. Finally, I get a good run.
But it didn't make sense. Tuval's movement seemed better, and he made fewer mistakes. Why wasn't he faster?
What, and a PAL version
Well,
or something?
One day they figured it out. Tuval was from the UK and didn't have access to an NTSC console, so he played on emulator, which has slower load times.
Oh.
Tuval had tied the world record despite playing at a 30-second disadvantage.
Damn. Dude, this music, Jesus. Is Tuval like a god? Holy shit. Tuval.
Every time he rescued a dragon, every time he entered or exited a level, Tuval lost a small amount of time. But he didn't care. He wanted the record, and nothing was going to stop him. To make up for the load difference, Tuval spent a lot of time routing the game. In fact, he enjoyed routing more than actually speedrunning. He tried to find the very best gems to collect, and while it wasn't hugely different from what other runners did,
yeah,
he saved time around the margins.
I guess you gotta really plan like every gem, like, oh my god, man. The amount of work that goes into this is crazy.
BJ and Surreal had stepped back from running the game, leaving Saboom and Tuval as the top 2 active runners. That summer, they took turns lowering the record further, eventually getting under 43 minutes. Videos for most of these runs were deleted.
Crazy.
Evidence of their existence is scattered across the internet, but we know very little about the runs themselves. One thing we do know is that Saboom used a slower route than Tuval. He did the slowest flight level, Sunny Flight, in Artisans, and entered Terrace Village for a couple dragons. Since Saboom played on console, he likely would have been able to pull away from Tuval, but since he stuck to this slower route, it gave Tuval a chance to compete with him. And compete they sure did. By the time we finally have our next run with video, these 2 guys had battled and taken the record almost a full minute lower.
Jesus.
42:43 by Tuval. The gem route had totally changed since the last record. Tuval skipped the boss level Dr. Shemp in Peacekeepers, since it takes a while and doesn't have very many gems. This saved a couple minutes, but left him with a 300 gem deficit.
I remember that, Chris. I remember you told me.
Gradually made up over the next couple worlds.
Made some mistake. I assume you shave some time in the future, yeah?
Even a few seconds in each world can really add up. But despite the improvements, there were still areas that Tuval messed up. So he and Saboom weren't.
Yeah, see, like right there, Chris wouldn't have done that.
The rest of 2013,
Chris would have done that clean, I think.
With each other,
saved at least 3 seconds.
There you go.
41, man, under 42 minutes. Jeez. And it started at what, like 1:05, right? So an hour and 45 minutes or something?
There it is.
41:41.
Just the 41:41, huh?
Just.
By August, the time was down to a 41:18 by Saboom. Following the pattern, it would now be Tuval's turn to take the record back. But I mentioned before that Tuval is an amazing glitch hunter. And well, in August, he made perhaps the greatest discovery in Spyro's history.
Here it is. This is the shit that I love.
Twilight Harbor Skip.
This is the shit that's always so sick. Yeah, because I guess any percent...
At the end of the game is Gnasty's world.
It's like whatever.
With 3 levels. Gnorc Cove, Twilight Harbor,
I can't stop
Gnasty
yawning
Gnorc.
today, I'm sorry.
Once you beat Gnorc Cove,
I promise
the
it's
dragon head
interesting,
for
I'm just
Twilight
mangled.
Harbor opens up.
I'm just old.
Beat that level, and Gnasty Gnorc opens up. But apparently, the developers were in a rush.
Wait, Gnasty Gnorc opens up? Wait, go on.
Because although the top of the Twilight Harbor dragon is solid, the Gnasty Gnorc dragon has no collision at the top. This means if you can somehow get up there, you can enter Gnasty Gnorc even if the dragon head is closed. The developers knew this and decided it was okay, because despite monumental effort, they couldn't find a way to get on top and get through.
Johnny Shawnee, that's me, baby. I'm gonna
15
rebrand.
years,
Eternal,
that
you listening?
system worked just fine.
Deliverables?
Until Tuval came along. In August 2013, he uploaded a YouTube video called Gnasty Gnorc Early. By standing on the open Gnorc Cove head, then jumping out of a flop using a technique called a boosted skitter jump, Tuval barely made it to the top.
I always love the names.
Collision and through to enter
Boosted
Gnasty
skitter
Gnorc.
jump.
It meant he skipped playing Twilight Harbor entirely and saved nearly a full minute on the speedrun.
Damn.
Unfortunately, this was extremely difficult. It felt random as to how much height you got from your jump.
Yeah, and it's at the very end of the
overall
run, so
wasn't well
many
understood.
full runs just
But
pissed
it was
away.
clearly possible and saved an enormous amount of time. So top runners had to go for it. They'd consistently get runs 40 minutes deep, then lose almost all of them to this one trick.
Yep.
It was exhausting. The few months after Twilight Harbor Skip's discovery is another.
That's like when I do that one level arrow 2 on Master, and then
We know that
the boss
Tuval
has like
got a
1% health left that I don't
September
get it.
2013, but from
Right, Chris?
October through the following January, the
Only
only
that
known
worked in
record
co-op.
set was a 40:37 by Saboom. It's very likely that other records were set around this time, especially because of the new skip, but there's no trace of anything. One thing we do know for sure, Twilight Harbor Skip was a massive pain. Saboom and Tuval regularly got runs deep, then had to get this near impossible trick under pressure. It was terrible. So, Tuval looked at the setup. The glitch hunter in him
But
went
then
into overdrive.
Dickface Farter
He
came in
said,
and
I
was
know how to fix this.
sloppier
We
than the
need to
others,
make
but
Twilight
consistent
Harbor
at hitting the skip.
even harder.
Twilight
The
harder.
current route in Gnasty's world was to rescue the dragon, play Gnorc Cove, then jump from the open Twilight Harbor head directly to Gnasty Gnorc, skipping the level.
Chris, I did know what you meant.
What would be really
Yes.
great was if you could skip all of this and go straight to Gnasty Gnorc from the start. Well, in October 2013, Tuval found a method to do just that. But oh boy, did it make Twilight Harbor skip look like a walk in the park. See this? This is a rat, which you can kill to replenish health. Not
Chris, just for you? Chris, I love how like by the time I started, he
too interesting.
same fucking brain
Unless you
stuff.
ask Tuval. He found that if you lure the rat to the right position, charge jump to kill it, and then race to the corner before it
Look
gets
at it go
there,
flying!
it can land on you and eject you into the air. You can then land on top of Gnorc Cove and glide straight to Gnasty Gnorc. It's called the Rat Proxy, and it's stupid
Rat
hard.
proxy.
You need to read the rat's positioning, then have him charge into the corner, and then need to essentially weave around the side of the rat's hitbox to reach the corner in time. It's like a lottery to get the positioning just right.
I don't know why,
hitbox
but I love watching this rat flip in slow motion.
charge into the corner,
It's so
and then need to
funny.
essentially weave around the side of the rat's hitbox to reach the corner in time. It's like a lottery
I
to
don't
get the
know
positioning
why.
just
Just
right
seeing
and
this
beat the
blocky
rat to the
rat
corner,
flip is
then get the
amazing.
proxy. When Tuval posted this, the community reaction was, cool.
God damn
That'll
it.
never be hitting the run, but it's nice that it's possible. For
Oh
a few
man.
months, it was just an oddity.
EDA,
nothing
too
more.
soon.
Then, Tuval found another method. It was called Coveless. Instead of using the rat, you fly around the back of the Gnasty Gnorc dragon head, work your way up, then glide around inside. Looks pretty easy. It's not. You have to release charge frame perfectly to get a flop upward, then you need several frame perfect wall glides all in a row to get and maintain enough height to make it inside. It was slightly easier than the rat proxy, but not much. Tuval tried hitting it on console, and said it took him 1,000 tries. Both Coveless and the
Oh
rat
my
proxy
God.
would save 40 seconds if ever hit in the run, but they were magnitudes harder than the already difficult Twilight Harbor skip. So improbable that they weren't even worth trying. All runners could realistically do in a run was Twilight Harbor skip, but maybe one day, the rat proxy or Coveless would come into play.
And then once somebody
Anyway,
does it,
Tuval
everybody's
still
going
had
to do
work
it.
to do, and in the spring of 2014, he set 2 more records, a 40.25 and a 40.03. Most
Jesus.
notably, he finally acquired an
22-second
NTSC
difference?
console and eliminated his 30-second disadvantage. Then on June 7th,
There it is.
Tuval broke the 40-minute barrier with a 39.46. A lot of the time save came from better
Wow.
movement and cleaning up small mistakes. Nothing too flashy, but this is the work you must put in if you want to set world records. Yet, since it still took him 3 tries to get Twilight Harbor skip, Tuval had to push onward. Once again, the timeline
so
isn't 100%
insane.
clear after this, but we know that 2.5 months later, Saboom got an enormous world record improvement of 39.16. There's no
What?
video, and not much is known about the
Almost
run
a
itself,
minute?
but we know that the YouTube description
Or no, like,
simply
what, like
said
30 seconds
no
or something?
words.
Jesus.
So this run was likely way ahead of its time. In January 2015, Tuval beat it with a 39.12, a run where he decided to just fly into a wall in Alpine Ridge.
What?
Oh, that makes more sense. There's no collision, and it's a more direct route.
Of course. That,
By
yeah,
now,
okay.
Tuval
Sure.
and Saboom had been trading the record for years, from a 43-minute run all the way to a low 39. They had separated themselves as by far the best runners of Spyro any percent. But Spyro has another main category, 120%, where you must collect every single gem, dragon,
Oh,
and
yeah.
egg in the game.
That's what I needed to do for the
These two
achievements. I know that
categories were
much.
on roughly equal footing, each with its own set of speedrunners. And in early 2015, 120%'s top runner decided to give any percent a try. His name was Chris LBC. Chris was the longtime record holder in 120%.
I mean, he looked different then.
He'd beaten Tuval in mid-2014 and hadn't looked back, setting 10 records in a row and lowering the time by 2 full minutes. Across all that, he'd mostly ignored any percent, but after dominating 120%, he was ready for a new challenge.
That was Chris
As you'd expect, he picked up 80% fast, but it was a very different run from 120%. Since you're picking and choosing what to collect, your route matters a ton, and since it's a shorter run, there's less wiggle room overall. The most frustrating part of the run for Chris was Twilight Harbor skip, which isn't used in 120%. He developed some consistency with it just like Tuval and Saboom, but still, Chris hated making it so far into runs just to throw most of them away.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be so annoying.
Like crazy, accumulating thousands of runs in just a few months. He was pretty aggressive at resetting early if he wasn't on a pace that he wanted. But
it looks
thanks
so
to his
miserable.
expertise in 120%,
Oh my God,
his
poor guy.
movement was impeccable, which let him pick up time over other runners.
Jesus.
In late 2015, Chris got on the best pace Spyro any percent had ever seen. He amassed a 30 gem lead after Beastmakers while being even with the record. Just about the only mistake was when he struggled to get an egg in
it stands for
after Jacques,
British
Chris
Broadcast
had about a 10-second lead
Television.
over the 3912 world record. But it was time for
Big bassy
Twilight
tunes.
Harbor skip. If he got this first try, he could get an incredible sub 39. Second try, and he could still break the record by a few seconds. Anything slower, and it was likely over.
Anything slower, and snipers would obliterate him. Oh! Oh no! Oh, it was good. I thought he came back out. I thought he slid in too deep and he popped back out.
Chris broke
That's the problem that the other Chris
record by
has. Our
17
Chris.
seconds.
Jesus.
This was a near perfect run. His mistakes were extremely minimal, and there just wasn't much time save available. So naturally, Tuval had to try and beat it. In March 2016, Tuval got on a run that fell behind early, lots of bonks and small mistakes. He then missed the proxy at the start of Clifftown, where an enemy lands on and ejects you up to the roof. He had to die and try again. Then, Misty Bog was disastrous. At the end of the level, there's a hallway filled with enemies. It's a very inconsistent room. Sometimes you make it through unscathed, other times you take lots of damage. In this run, Tuval got hit several times, taking 3 hits from frogs before finally dying from a Gnorc. It cost another 20 seconds. By the time he made it to Gnasty's world, Tuval was over a half-minute behind.
Oh man, Chris is taking his dashboarding to the next level. He doesn't even turn it on anymore. He just stares at a black screen.
The only option
he just stares at his reflection.
Was to try and skip both Gnorc Cove and Twilight Harbor. I mentioned before there were 2 methods for this, and the more consistent one was coveless. That's what Tuval was going to try to go for. But it wasn't looking good. He'd spent hours practicing just to hit it once. Yet it was his only option to try and save this run.
It looks good.
Hello? Okay. Well then.
Joe. Fuck.
There exists a scale of how hard various speedrunners pop off when they do something cool. Tuval is pretty close to the bottom. This was the most amazing thing Spyro speedrunning had ever seen.
Did I just see Abney?
With his back runners pop.
Abney! The fucking Mario Kart demon himself, Hicks. Fucking Abney.
Off when they do
I love that Salt is here.
Tuval is pretty close to
Green
the bottom.
Luigi.
This was the most amazing thing Spyro speedrunning had ever seen. With his back against the wall, Tuval had hit a 1 in 1,000 trick to save a world record. His reaction? Well then.
Dude, what wacky pop up! Did you guys see the Pokemon thing recently?
But the rest
where
of the
a guy like
their minds.
Tuval
had gotten
popped off a little bit and then
the rest
as he popped off, it was considered a loss. I think it's just because he like threw his headset a bit too rough, which makes sense. I mean, it's like it's not your headset.
The best hope of beating it would be to build up a huge lead without any of the mistakes.
I've seen people pop off way harder many times with no repercussions.
It was a long shot, even for these guys. For the next year and a half, nobody new got a sub 40, and
The fist
none
bump
of
and the
top
judges
few
acted like he
runners
assaulted
improved
someone?
their
Really?
times at all.
I thought it was the throwing the
There was
headphones
much
that was
more
the problem.
focus on 120%, where the world record dropped by
And then,
nearly 2
well, didn't he
minutes.
like shoot a child
All the
after?
while, Tuval's
No, but,
3851 remained on top of any percent.
I watched it and I was
Finally,
like,
in
bro,
late
have they ever seen
2017,
fucking
there was an
H-Box pop off
improvement.
after winning a melee
Saboon
tournament? Hello?
reportedly got a 3842, but yet again the video was deleted. Still, it can't be overstated what Saboom did for Spyro speedrunning. He used strategies years ahead of his time, and when his videos were viewable, his runs almost looked like they were from the future. He did this in multiple categories across several Spyro games. Then
Oh
in
my god, we're halfway through
mid-2018,
the
it was
video.
beaten again, this time by Chris LBC. It
I gotta stop doing that because I want to not know that like shit is coming.
Gave back time from skipping Kovalis, and still got
I don't
nice
know
world
the whole
record of
story, Sam, but yeah, the one who got like
well, really, it was more
DQ'd
than
or
just
just
a
like
nice
their
record.
loss was
It
forfeit
nearly
or their win
perfect
was
for the
forfeit or something because they
strategies
popped
used.
off.
Chris nailed everything, had no substantial mistakes, and got probably the cleanest record the game had ever seen. It was so good that it thrust Spyro any percent into a dormant period.
Oh my god, it sounds so dramatic, but it makes sense.
31 signified a run reaching its breaking
Chris
point.
single-handedly
To
ruined the
realistically
game.
lower the record further,
There was nothing else to
Kovalis
do.
now had to be implemented in all runs. And there wasn't much motivation to run a category where more than 99% of runs were destined to die at the very end. All top runners agreed it wasn't worth trying, so they all stopped.
I mean, that makes sense.
In the second half of 2018, all of 2019, and through 2020, there was hardly any movement at the top of the leaderboard.
Here it comes.
Everything remained quiet.
But then Abney,
Chris, Saboom, and Tuval
bored
all
of
worked
setting
hard.
58
To
Mario
break the
Kart
gridlock at
records
the
a
top,
day,
one of two things
decided to
needed
give Spyro a
happen.
try.
Either something new had to be
2
discovered,
weeks after starting the
or a new
game,
contender
he got a
had to come along.
2742.
Well, as fate would have it, in late 2020, Spyro got its first new record contender in years. And he's one of the most unique speedrunning personalities I've ever encountered. His name is Deo Man.
Let's go. This one's for anybody who's ever loved somebody, man. I love you. Keep chugging. Keep living. Keep loving. Oh!
Remember the pop-off scale?
You're starting an electrical
well,
fire.
Deo is at the complete opposite end.
Look at the water knight of the
competing with
microphone, you
likes of
silly
Gnasty
goose.
and VHA. When he sets a record, he'll yell,
Yes, mother. That's right, baby. That's right. 121.52. Let's go. New world record.
give a motivational speech,
I thought it wasn't gonna happen. I thought world record. I thought Saboom was just too good.
or do
Saw
something
about GDQ
completely
once.
random.
Let's go.
Girl, on, pass it to me right now. Bumper. Oh.
He first started watching Spyro speedruns back when he was in high school, and his true passion was 120%. He preferred the simplicity of it. You could just focus on your movements, no need to worry about gems and routing so much.
Yeah, because
But
you gotta get them
perhaps
all,
most
right?
importantly, Deo
But-
hated the idea of Twilight Harbor Skip,
Hmm.
and the fact that it was now replaced by something even harder. He just wanted to stay away from any percent and focus on 120% where it wasn't needed. So he did. For many months, Deo grinded 120%, and in December 2020, he beat Saboom and broke the world record.
Let's go. Oh! You're over the. Let's go. New world record. Low. One.
Oh, you could have the glasses and shit in this game too?
His power level was
In the
increasing.
trilogy,
With
like remastered stuff, you could have like
120%
different
done, the next
colors
thing
and
Dale could conquer was any percent.
Stuff
But
like
again,
that.
Kovlis wasn't exactly his idea of a good time.
it didn't really like have a bit
Well,
more
luckily
for his color.
Deo Man, right around the time he broke the 120% record, there was an advancement at the end of any percent runs.
Oh,
It all comes back to the rat.
fucking
A
rat, dude.
Spyro runner named Hopkid had long been interested in the rat proxy. He wondered if there was any way to make it more consistent. As it stood, rat proxy was even worse than Kovlis. You did a charge jump into the wall, hoped you beat
Seeing
the
this
rat
thing
there,
flip in
and hoped
slow mo
to
is the
proxy.
funniest thing
It
I've
was
ever seen. I
far,
don't know
far
why.
under a 1%
I
trick.
love it, dude.
Well, in 2020,
That needs to be all of my
Hopkid
alerts.
found a new method that was sort of the inverse of a charge jump. You'd start with a jump, then glide in toward the rat, charge to kill it, and have the rat land on top of you. Approaching the rat's hit sphere from above and slightly in front meant it was much easier to beat it to the corner. However, it also meant you now had to wait for the rat to go into the corner.
Oh my god, dude,
Depending
it's
on its
awesome.
pattern, this could be instant, could take several seconds, or could even take several
I'm gonna,
minutes.
out of curiosity, if I just Google Spyro rat green screen, there's no way. Fuck. Oh wait. I wonder if I could just like find what Spyro rat GIF. Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna find it. But I wonder if I could find like a. There's a fucking wiki page. There's a wiki page for the rats, bruh. Rats. That's incredible. I'm kind of tempted to just like cut it out, spin it around, and make it an alert.
Hopkid made a tutorial for his new method in mid-2020, but it was mostly ignored by any % runners.
We'll just have it
When
plastered
Deo
all
saw
over the
this,
screen.
His reaction
Welcome
was,
to Madagascar.
and I quote, "Well, all these people are too lazy to do it in any %.
NPM,
so
guess
I'll
I'm
be
not
the
finishing
first."
Tunic tonight. Pain.
And so
Soon.
began Deo's quest.
Soon.
Hit the rat proxy in a run and break the world record. His consistency with the trick wasn't good, but it gradually got better. First 1 in 100, then 1 in 50. To practice, anytime he had a run make it there, he tried the trick until he hit it,
That makes
even
sense.
if it took dozens of attempts. Using this method, his consistency improved, and he occasionally had sessions as good as 1 in 10. He almost never hit it first try, but he was getting better. It all led to a run on
As long as you
January
hit it in
19th,
the end. Am I
2020.
right, boys?
While Deo made plenty of mistakes in Peacekeepers and Magic Crafters, he made it all the way to Gnasty's World, and finally got a first try rat proxy.
Come on, baby. This is the one. This is the one right here.
He ultimately finished with a 38-33, just 2 seconds behind the world record.
Damn.
Deo was officially record capable.
Yeah,
All
top
he had to
3.
do now was get another slightly faster run into Gnasty's World and hit another rat proxy. Not too bad, right?
Oh,
Oh,
man,
this
come
is
on.
his life for 3 months now. God, the
Pray
music's
for
always
me.
so good.
Please pray for me. This run could either be insane or it will probably die. One of those two. So please pray for me. No, dude.
That hurts. That hurts. That hurts, man.
That hurts. That hurts.
See? Told you.
Why don't he want me, man? Why don't this run want me, man? No!
Oh,
Come on, dude!
it's so painful.
Let's go. Okay, let's go. Okay, this could be world record. Let's go! Let's
Damn.
go! World record 38.
I wasn't actually looking at the date. How long did that take?
There it was. Deo was now the record holder in both 120% and any %. In this run, he was pretty close with Chris's record through Peacekeepers, but suffered a big time loss when he lost his
Okay,
supercharged
no,
hoard.
I have to know. 45.52. Okay, so this was 2/22/2021. Okay. This.
It all comes back to the Razzie, and worse to Proxy 2020 start with a jump. Any %
Yeah,
made it
1, 2.
all the way to Gnasty's World 33, just 2 seconds behind the world record.
1/19/2020. Oh my god, bro, running for a year?
Deo was officially record.
Oh no, this is okay. Hit another, right?
Not too slightly faster run.
Oh my god, yeah, literally
Oh,
February 6th, 2021, and then he did the run on February 22nd. Okay, no, never mind.
man, come on.
Too bad. Slightly. Deo was a fish with a 38-33.
Oh, sorry. Okay. This is January 19th, 2020. Okay, but still a month.
Pray for me. please pray for me. This run could either be insane or...
Bro, fuck that. What did I say, 46, 42?
No matter what's a 38-15 followed by a 38-14. Each one had a second try rap proxy.
Wait, did I skip ahead?
The new rap 37-minute run. That was 38-31.
Am I crazy?
He explained
YouTube.
after on the rat, he pulled way ahead after getting the proxy. And though it seemed to be inevitable for weeks, now that it had happened, Deo couldn't believe it.
Holy moly! Hi YouTube! Hi YouTube! What up YouTube?
After a few hours, reality set in.
I'm fired up,
And
Bob,
after
but my
thinking
wife
on
left
it,
me.
Deo posted a message to Discord. I'm not done. He explained that he kind of only got record because of the rat proxy, and that beyond the new trick, this was a worse run than Chris's 38-31. Speaking objectively, it's hard to disagree with that. Deo said he'd only feel good about it if he got a 37-minute run. That would be comparable to what Chris got, plus the new rat proxy. It'd truly be a better record no matter how you looked at it. Over the next few weeks, Deo scored a couple small record cuts, a 38-15 followed by a 38-14. Each one had a second try rat proxy at the end, leaving obvious room for improvement. One new strategy he used was a wall clip in Metalhead. It works like a proxy, except the enemy's hitbox is so big that it ejects you forward. It was found by Humbledon and saves about 8 seconds. These new records were nice, but not quite what Deo was looking for. On March 23rd, Deo fell behind early after missing this jump in Dry Canyon. But after that, things went really well. He gradually chipped into his deficit, so that by the time he made it to Gnasty's world, he was only barely behind. Then, Deo got a first try rat proxy.
Okay, let's go. Woo! Yeah,
Damn.
3803. Come on.
A huge record, and very close to his goal.
Damn.
But due to his big mishap in Dry Canyon, he was still a few seconds short. As great as this was, Deo didn't want to stop.
Yeah,
He
obviously.
continued his stream that day, and a short while later, he got on another run.
A lot of high-level Spyro players would reset at this point. But do you think resetting got me a world record? Think about that.
Dude, that's gonna be so crazy. Like when you're in the zone, you get a record, but you're like, I'm still flow state,
All right,
you
guys,
know?
pray. Can I do the back-to-back, bro? If I get another first try rat, dude, that'd be so legendary. That would just be the best.
Bro.
You're kidding me. Okay.
Please don't get fucked on the key or something. Damn.
The back-to-back. The back-to-back. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding
That's
me?
crazy.
I am the best there ever was. The best. Legendary. 2 world records in one day. The first 37 ever done in this game. Woo! Oh man, I am sick and I'm humble.
Perhaps the greatest accomplishment in Spyro speedrunning history. A 3803 and a 3757 on the same
crazy.
day. He started as just a 120% specialist. Now, Deo was undoubtedly the game's best player, no matter the category. And he'd just broken probably the last minute barrier possible.
Let's
in
get the
Spyro
emote on
90%.
screen.
Mission accomplished.
2 perfect rats. Two perfect rats. Are you kidding me?
Dude,
Chris,
back to back
Spoom,
is
and
nuts.
Tuval all weren't interested in playing anymore, and there really wasn't anyone else record capable. Even if
Until
there was, this was an optimized world record with a first try rat proxy. Deo had put it in a good spot. Top level Spyro has historically had alternating periods of activity
that's
and
fucking
inactivity.
crazy, man.
After the 3757,
First
it
try,
was inactive for about
Back
a
to
year and a
back
half.
is nuts.
But in 2022, it entered a period of activity that has lasted to this day. It all started that November with the emergence of a new top-level runner, Lumi Laura.
Oh,
Laura first got into Spyro speedrunning in 2020. and
again,
while she had
somebody
an unassuming
new
start,
comes in and
that
fucks
gradually
everything up.
changed.
It's awesome.
When Deo got his 3757, she was
Same
down
Hicks.
in 24th place. In early 2022, she became
I would
the
not
ninth
have the
person
patience.
to
Even
get
if I had
a
the
sub
skill,
40.
I wouldn't
Half
have
a
the
year
patience
later,
to just do
she became
thousands
the
and thousands
fifth
and thousands
person
of
to get
runs
a
to shave off
38.
like 3
It was
milliseconds.
slow,
Fuck that.
methodical improvement, but it made Laura into a record contender by mid-2022. Part of the way she did this was by creating a new route nicknamed Bikeless. In high
Bikeless?
caves, there's a strat called Bike Caves, where you supercharge and then quickly run through the level collecting 100
Oh,
gems.
that makes sense.
It's very difficult and historically killed a lot of runs. Laura decided to try skipping it and collect those 104 gems elsewhere, scattered through the earlier and later worlds.
Huh.
It actually ended up being faster and much more consistent. It meant she got
So,
many
best of
more
both
runs
worlds.
to the end game. But as we know, in the end game is the rat. And as good as your
Dude, the
pace
rat is literally
it
acting
really
like a
doesn't matter
fucking
until
rat.
You get the rat proxy. In November 2022, Laura got a 3808 with a 14-second mistake in Dreamweavers. Take out that mistake, and the run would have beaten Deo.
Oh man,
It was clear
DDA,
now
yeah.
that Laura had what it took
It's
to
gotta
break
be
the
just
record.
so.
But just like Deo, she
So
had to
rough.
get the rat proxy on a good pace.
Only
This again, really?
I've only gone for a couple speedruns for, you know, like achievements and shit. The Little Nightmares one, I remember that one. I was like, I don't even know if I could do this. Like
He's
under an
diverted to
hour
the
with no
left.
deaths. And luckily, I did it in one stream. I think it took me
This
3 or 4
is
runs.
exactly what Deo went through 2
And if I
years
didn't,
earlier.
it would have
Run
taken me
after run on
like
record
forever.
pace, all dead to the rat. Laura was losing faith she'd ever be able to hit it in a run.
Oh, Metroid Dread.
So, in a bold move, Laura decided to
Hollow
go back
Knight?
to
Nice.
Coveless
I did one in
full-time
a
and ignore the
game.
rat proxy. Coveless was
I remember
a
it was
really
3
unlikely
hours. I
trick,
don't remember what
but
the hell
she
it's
wasn't getting the
called.
rat, so maybe
The
it
character
was
was
worth a
blue.
try.
I don't know.
It was just a matter of getting another run to Gnasty's world,
I
which
think
at
I've-
this
I've done a
point
couple,
she did
but-
regularly.
Speedrun
But on March
Deathless.
14th, Laura got
Not
not
many.
only a good pace, but the best pace Spyro had ever seen into Gnasty's world. A 35.
Yeah, I need to play Metroid games on stream. That's
her
on the long
bikeless
list.
route was executed to perfection, and the run was
I've
virtually
never played any on
mistake-free.
stream.
It was time.
And like
to
I said,
put her
I've
theory
only
to
played
the
Super
test.
Metroid
Laura was
20
going
years
to
ago,
go for
25 years ago
Coveless.
even. So I don't remember shit.
Come on. Okay. Alright, it's fine. We've got a chance at rat. It's rat. We got a chance at rat. That's not going in. No.
Damn.
Wait, we got another chance. We've got so much time. Literally got this chance. Oh my god. No. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is it. This is it.
I wonder what the time difference is going to be. The other one was like just under 38 minutes. Okay, it's like about 2 or 3 seconds. Damn. Damn.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
3 years of build-up, and Laura
3
had finally
years?
done it. And it couldn't
No
have
wonder
been a
she's fucking
stranger
crying.
run.
Jesus.
The best pace ever seen by far, then going for and missing Coveless.
See, I can't
before
imagine
backing it up
dedicating
with a first
3
try
years
rat
to a
proxy.
game to
At the
begin
end of
with.
it all was an outburst of pure emotion.
Oh, Sam, that's funny. I think I'm going to start with Metroid Prime. To me, as a first-person shooters and shit, it's more interesting.
The journey to break a world record sure isn't easy. It isn't straightforward.
For 3
It'll
years
push
is
you to your
crazy,
limits.
man.
But when it finally happens, the sense of accomplishment is unmatched. There were now 2 players with the sub 38, Laura and Deo.
That's fucked.
But they weren't the only record contenders. It took
Honestly, I'm
Laura a
surprised that
while
more
to get
people
to
don't react like that, but I guess
37.55.
people are
Several months of
speedrunners just have a
grinding in late
brain that's like
2022 and
wired
early
different.
2023. And in that time, another new player popped up.
Had a 3754. Okay. Every time.
Laura's slow and steady
Every time.
improvement
I used to
the
like
top
Prime that
was
I
the
played
complete
Dread and the other
opposite of
2D games that make
She
sense.
began as a top-level Vortex runner in 2021, a side category of Spyro.
Ignore the original
speedrunning.
Star Wars Zero
So
Mission.
by the time she took any percent more seriously,
I shouldn't start with Super Metroid?
She was able to quickly go from a 4118 to a 39 flat.
Why don't Prime
all during Laura's push for
do
the
it for
top
you
spot.
just because you prefer the
Ash
2D
became
much
a world
more? Or...
record threat in a matter of weeks. Ultimately, Laura's record lasted just a few days.
Oh, it's the remake of the first game. Okay, okay.
3746. Now,
Do
in a lot of ways, this run wasn't as good as Laura's. Ash slowly bled time through Peacekeepers.
Oh yeah, 2D is crazy. I've seen that.
Bog, and missed the clip in Metalhead.
Do I have a thumbnail already
These
for
were all
Zero
fairly
Mission?
small
Probably.
Mistakes. And most importantly, she got a first try rat proxy to save 30 seconds over
Oh, isn't
Laura.
it on Switch Online?
Ash actually wrote in the description
Clap.
to just go watch Laura's run since it was better. But that's the power of a first try rat proxy. So, we have Laura's run, which was amazing but bled half a
Dude,
minute
I
in
have like
Gnasty's
10
world,
Metroid
and we have
thumbnails and I've
Ash's
never
run,
played them.
which was much slower but had an amazing
1,
Gnasty's
2,
world.
3,
Combine these two runs, and the result would be a sub
4,
37
5, 6, 7, 8,
That
9,
was the new
10.
goal.
10.
But
Literally
although
10.
they ascended the leaderboard at different speeds, Laura and Ash both arrived there at the same time and really enjoyed competing with each other. In fact, they looked at this goal as a collaboration, not a competition. They wanted to help each other get to 37-2x. Over the spring of 2023, that's exactly what played out.
So they want to shave off 30 seconds? I guess to be fair, she lost a shitload of time trying to do the skip, and then the rat was being problematic.
Oh,
37-27,
My
holy!
the dream run!
After weeks of back
Wow.
and forth, Laura got her self-described dream run. Time losses were
Wow.
very minimal, getting stuck on a wall in night flight, missing gems in Misty Bog, some small movement mistakes, all adding up to just a handful of seconds across a more than half-hour speed run. Laura and Ash had worked together to take the run to this point, and while Laura had crossed the finish line, they both deserve the credit. This was a good spot to let the record rest for a while. It was sub 37:30, a nice round milestone, and speedrunners like round milestones. All in all, a fantastic world record. But speedrunners are constantly looking for something new. A faster trick, a more consistent setup.
Hey, I have a thumbnail for Samus
once-optimized
Returns.
record can instantly become subpar. Depending on what's discovered, someone can wreak havoc just by discovering a new strategy. Laura's 37-27 lasted for a few months, but in mid-2023, a player named Days Bagabones came along.
Every
Mr.
time.
Bagabones
It just every
discovered a couple
time.
new tricks in rapid succession. First, the long
It's so
back
crazy.
rat, a method to force the rat to the corner without relying so much on its pattern. This was absolutely huge for consistency. You line yourself up in front of the rat so that the hitboxes are just barely touching, then press square for exactly 2 frames to kill it, and hold left or right so the rat drags you along with it to the corner. This is called getting surfed. There are many variations of the long back rat depending on the rat's starting position. So although a ton of RNG was taken out, the trade-off was having to learn a seemingly endless amount of small adjustments. But boy was it worth it. With practice, top-level runners are able to get the long back rat about a third of the time. Long gone are the days of 1 in 1,000 lottery tickets. The long back rat means any deep pace has a good chance. The other trick Days found was Nestor Skip. At the very start of the game is a dragon named Nestor, literally right in front of you. Runners didn't
Yeah, I remember
collect
that
him
one.
because he's the only dragon in the entire game where you can't skip his dialogue. At least, you couldn't until Days Bagabones came along. By perfectly timing
Nestor, I
the position
barely
of the
know her.
flop, you can get stuck on top of his hitbox. The game auto-kills Spyro after a few seconds, and the cutscene never plays despite collecting the dragon. It's an extremely difficult quadruple frame-perfect trick.
At least it's right at the beginning of the game, though.
In most attempts, you would reach
So
the
like
top,
right at the
but just
last
fall
second,
off
like the
after a
rats and
moment.
shit.
It was initially viewed as unviable for runs, but gradually, any percent players
Oh
warmed up to
god,
it.
no cap.
It saves about 7
For
seconds,
real.
and runners had to individually decide if that was enough to grind this over and over again at the start of runs. Between Nestor Skip and the long back rat, Days Vagabonds had breathed new life into Spyro speedrunning. A sentence that's never been spoken before. With new strategies,
I wonder if it's
come
gonna
new
go
records. In the fall of 2023,
under 37
Laura and
minutes.
Ash took turns lowering the world record another 10 seconds. Laura chose to do Nestor Skip while Ash did not, and ultimately that did give Laura a bit of an advantage. By the end of 2023, her 37:19 remained as the world record. We've seen a lot from Laura and Ash lately, but there was one contender who'd been uncharacteristically quiet over the past few years. Deo Man.
God damn it.
Deo hadn't touched
Of
any
course.
percent since 2021. He put all of his focus into 120%.
Dude, Deo is such...
2023.
It's like exactly
he
what
got
you
what
expect
he
a
considered to be
speedrunner to look
the ultimate
like.
Run of the category.
So funny.
An hour and 20 minutes. The 120 in 120%. Once he
The
got
hairy
that,
dude,
he
shirtless in a
embarked on
dark
new
room.
quest. After all these years,
Oh, fuck.
could he climb the mountain again and reclaim the any percent world record? Deo had work to do. He had to learn bike lists, the long back rat, and other small optimizations. However, just like Ash, he decided to not go for Nestor Skip.
Everybody in the Spyro Discord be like, you know that route is actually not as good. Shut the f up, nerds.
It meant he got a lot of runs going, and results quickly followed. In late March 2024, Deo got PBs on back-to-back days,
Damn.
37:30 and 37:28. They each had big time losses, but despite the break, his skill was clearly right back up there with his rivals.
Damn.
But he wasn't the only one making a push.
Of
On
course.
April 7th, Ash tied Laura's record quite literally to the frame, 37:19.233.
What the
2
hell?
days later, she beat it by a second with a 37:18. Just
Without
as
the
before,
Nestor Skip?
Ash had a knack for making quick moves in any percent. World records 48 hours apart. But the 37:18 did have mistakes,
Right, Gypsy?
and there was still room to take it lower. It put the pressure back on Deo. In mid-April, he closed in with a 37:25, which had a death at the start of Clifftown. It would have been world record if not for that mistake. Ash countered with a 37:17 and 37:15 again just days later.
What the fuck? It's gonna. I think it's gonna go under 37 minutes. I think it's gonna go under 12 minutes, honestly.
As good as Deo was,
This-
Ash had
oh,
a
the
fast
shirt. He had a
response
shirt in one
every
part.
single time. She was relentless, but they were still neck and neck. Either runner had a chance at getting the dream run. On May 28th, Deo got a run that matched his PB's strong first 2 worlds, then started gradually pulling ahead. He entered Misty Bog, one of the hardest levels, and it went well. The good vibes kept rolling. A solid treetops, then he got the clip in Metalhead and even got a gold split. After Dream Leaders
Okay.
went well, this was officially the fastest run ever going into the Rat Proxy. Deo had no choice but to stay calm despite what was unfolding. This was the
Yeah,
highest
you gotta
pressure
think,
attempt at
the shirt
Rat
makes him less
Proxy of the
aerodynamic.
whole time.
Alright, here we go.
Honestly, he should grease himself up so that he could get less like air friction when his PC is
It
blowing
didn't
hot air at
set in
him.
first. Perhaps he'd turned off his adrenaline to try and finish the run, but the celebration ramped up over time, and we even got a classic Deo Man speech.
I was like hoping I could get in the low 3710s, and even then I was considering putting it down at that point.
Oh,
This
Joe,
run was
why?
really something special.
This was an amazing run, so amazing that it was close to another minute barrier. There really wasn't
Onions
much
and
time
cum.
to save,
Fun-
but
fun
if Deo
comes.
could find 4 more seconds,
most comes are
he'd
fun.
have a sub 37. Speedrunners can't resist those milestones. Deo kept going. He played all through the summer of 2024, but with
Yeah, if
such
you get
an
a
optimized
37:03
record, he struggled to get much. On August 23rd,
I assume-
he came really close to a 37 flat. missing the barrier by just 1/4 of a second. And it didn't take long to go the rest of the way. 10 days later, Deo had another extremely close run midway through, had a sloppy alpine ridge to lose a few seconds, and from there was nearly flawless.
But if you
a first try rat,
smush some bunions,
chase,
some funyuns between some butt cheeks so you can call them bunions.
Came out at once.
Damn, I knew it. I knew it was gonna go under 37. He has a shirt, look, see?
It took Deo 6
He
months
unlocked
of
the
regular
shirt.
playing to get the sub 37. The community gave him his well-deserved congratulations. Even his competitors who'd played right alongside him.
Shirt
This was
diff.
everything he wanted. The 120 in 120% and the sub 37 in any percent. Deo's journey was complete. His only time losses were small, 1 to 2 seconds here and there. This was a run that was poised to stand as the world record for a long, long time.
And it
But
lasted
in
26
speedrunning,
hours.
You just never know what to expect. It only takes one new runner, or one new strategy. Deo poured his heart and soul into this 36:58, and it was an amazing run. But it lasted as the record for just a few months. In
Okay,
early
still months though.
2025, along came a new top runner to any percent.
Of course.
Composer.
It's a totally new person, of course, every
Much
time.
like Ash, Composer got their start in Vortex, getting the world record there in 2022. Vortex is a short run, where every fraction of a second matters. It requires close attention to detail, and Composer applied that idea to any percent. They wanted to squeeze
That's a sick
every
setup.
last frame out of the run, and literally programmed practice codes to grind certain tricks over and over. A
That makes sense.
consistency-first mentality
Like a
seen in the
frame
world's
perfect,
best speedrunners, like Nitsky and Swiggy.
Run and shit.
But we know
They
how
did 2
good Deo's
milestones
run
though? Yeah.
was, and there were no big time saves available. So to try and beat it, Composer looked for small time saves around the edges, some that they'd found and some found by others. Turning around faster in Clifftown before jumping on this roof, taking a harsher line coming out of Shemp, a faster blind
It's
turn up
crazy
Magic
that it
Stairs,
gets
turning around to the last
precise
gems
to this
faster
extreme,
in
you know?
Treetops. There was a lot more like this. Individually, they each saved a second or less, but combined, Composer could save several seconds over Deo. This was Composer's attention to detail in full effect. It's the small things adding up, and it worked. In January 2025, 4 months after Deo's sub 37, Composer beat it by exactly 1 second.
Bruh.
And the community recognized that Composer had the potential to go much further. In an effort to reclaim his record, Deo came back to attempts with a brand new route called Shempless. He'd do Nestor skip and hang on to the extra dragon, then skip the boss Dr. Shemp in Peacekeepers, where he gave back the 1 dragon advantage. It saved a few seconds, and on April 25th, he got a 36:57 of his own. Composer, on the other hand, tried something a little different. They wanted to switch routes, but were insistent on not doing Nestor skip. So they still skipped Dr. Shemp, but collected Ivor in Dry Canyon instead of Nestor. This is a very difficult dragon to collect fast, and uses boosted skitter jumps, just like in the old Twilight Harbor skip. But Composer preferred it over Nestor skip, and used it to get a 36:43. A few
What
days
the
after that,
fuck?
they decided to randomly try Nestor skip when someone in chat suggested it, and then broke the record with a 36:39.
Let's go!
Wow.
Let's go!
So now, they kind of had to do
Mic
it going
clipping and
forward.
shit.
Composer's final new route included Nestor skip, Ivor, and Shempless. It was a brilliant
Guess the newer
route
version
and
sucks
helped
for
you save
speedruns?
even more time.
It's possible some of this stuff
After
got
another
patched,
record of 36:38 in July,
or it's just they're so
Deo
used to
was left
playing
in the
this
dust.
version.
The new
you
time
know?
saves and routes were hard to keep up with, and Composer's consistency was unreal.
Maybe stuff
He
isn't like
needed some
placed
sort of a response.
the exact
And
same.
on August 6th, he got one with a 36:47, 9 seconds behind the record and still not using the new route. But a few days later, Composer improved again with a 36:35. Deo
Bruh.
just couldn't keep up. Finally, Deo decided if he was going to stand a chance, he had to commit to the new route with Ivor. It was a pain, but Composer had raised the bar. This was the only way to compete. with
Yeah,
them.
at some point you get your
Would
hand
it be
forced, right? You
enough?
like
On
the only
August
way to
25th,
compete is you have
Deo
to do
fell
this
a bit
route.
behind early, then made a mistake in Bite Caves.
Yeah,
which was now
exactly,
back in the
Gypsy.
run. He then missed
Even like
an
the
egg in
tricks they
Wizard
use,
Peak
right? Like the
and had to get
skitter
it back
thing
at
and all
the end.
this.
This was a pretty big deficit now. It was time to see what this new route could do.
But yeah, I'm sure there's a ton of reasons. Even just muscle memory, I would assume. Brother owns 0 shirt. No, we've seen 2 shirts.
I tied it! Oh! I tied
Damn.
it! Let's go!
For the second time, Deo had tied the record. But unlike the tie from a few months ago, this was technically a couple frames faster than Composer's run. So it was, officially, a new world record. Composer saw what Deo had done, and booted up a stream of any percent.
Composer's grinding right now. Yo, let's go. It's in time. This would kind of break my heart a little, but it would be kind of funny. If Composer beat the 35 today, I could totally see that happening, by the way.
Judging by the music, it's gonna fucking happen.
Well, at least he got a few
Destroyed.
hours of enjoyment. They made it look easy. Spyro has never seen a player like Composer. Many talented former record holders are just behind them on the leaderboard.
Wow,
They struggle to
dude.
keep up. And a lot of that is because of Composer's mentality. It's consistency over everything, and trying to optimize even the smallest of time saves. It may seem pointless on an individual level, but zoom out and they're able to pull time out of thin air. Over the course of a few weeks in the summer of 2025, Composer set 5 more world records in a row, going from 3630 down to 3622. The new route helped, the
Insane.
long back rat helped, but mostly, it was their relentless attention to detail. Composer was able to
Yeah, for
save
sure,
time
Sam.
that
At
simply
that-
wasn't available
You get to a point
other
where this is
top
the only way to
runners.
set a record.
Most interesting of all was the run they got on September
It's just wild to me that you could-
2025. The run had 2 key
could
mistakes
finish
in the levels
Spyro
Treetops and Jacques. It
Well,
was
somebody
a
watches
hopeless
one episode of
situation.
TV. Like, what the
Unless they
fuck?
could bust out a trick named Gnasty Gnorc. By unlocking the Gnasty Gnorc key without triggering his cue to run, you can get far enough ahead of him that the game panics and teleports him straight to the end of the chase. You can then reach him with a frame-perfect jump and extremely tight positioning. Composer had no choice but to try it. And they actually hit it, saving 5 seconds at the very end, just enough to claim a new world record.
What the fuck?
This past February, Composer was in a similar spot. No choice but to try Gnasty Gnorc.
Oh my god!
And they did it again, bringing back another run from the dead.
What the actual fuck?
Holy dude!
Spyro's had so many good runners.
Yeah,
over the
exactly,
years.
DDA. It's
From
just
Surreal and his dozen
you get to the
records
point
in a
where
row,
people play
to
it so
Tuval
perfectly
and his
that
game-breaking discoveries.
you have no choice.
And the more recent records set by Deo, Laura,
New
and
techniques,
Ash.
or
The
you just
Composer is
can't
special.
make any mistakes, right?
They've taken over in a
Or
way
usually
that's
both.
almost unheard of given modern competition. I've seen a lot over the years, but this is really impressive. This is how the top of the leaderboard currently looks. A pretty comfortable
Mental.
lead for Composer. Will
Mental.
they stay on top for years? Or is Mark Cerny about to make
You know what
his
that means,
comeback
Lightspeed?
at last? Time will tell.
Yours
This
for the
has been
taking.
history of Spyro
Swoon
World
and
Records.
Yasai.
Thanks for watching.
You could be the Yasai guy. Literally. Literally. Man, that was a great video. That was so fun. I knew that game would be wild to see it speedran, however you want to say it, but that was awesome. That was awesome. So as always, YouTube, show love to Summoning Salt, the original video, the channel, all that. That was great. Fantastic. I look over and he's timed out, bruh. Okay, I'll just pause the recording there. All right, YouTube, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed watching that crazy video with me. Shout out to Summoning Salt, as always. Amazing videos. Hope you check out the channel if you haven't already. And I guess I'll see you in another reaction to Summoning Salt in the future because he's got so much cool stuff. Thanks for watching. Peace.